Hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Leilani. You could also call me Lay. Today I want to start on Winterween, which is ran from January 3rd to Sunday, January 9th. And it's hosted by Gabby and Olivia, where you just read spooky books for this whole week. I thought it would be cool to have a spooky background, and then the light that's actually making my face look like I have an indent and a mustache is my light from my computer. So I chose 5 books, I believe. I'll read the prompt and then I'll tell you what books I've chosen for this week to read. And then also I'll read a sentence from the description that made me choose the book. So the prompts are: read a book at night or in the dark, read a book with the winter setting, read a book with snow on the cover, read a novella, and then lastly, read a book that gives you thrills and chills. For the prompts, all of these books are thrillers or has something to do with murder. So I believe it's going to give me thrills and chills. I plan on mostly reading these books at night or in the dark because I have work. But yeah, so we'll go to the ones that actually fit a prompt. So this book fits 2 prompts, which is read a book with a winter setting and then read a book with snow on the cover. I've chosen Stolen Tongues, and the sentence I liked was, as the weather turns deadly, Felix discovered that his terrified fiancée isn't just mumbling in her sleep. She's whispering back. Oh no. For novella, I chose Carmilla. I think that's how you say it. And the sentence I'm going to read is, predating Dracula by 26 years, Carmilla is the original vampire story steeped in sexual tension and gothic romance. I chose this one because I have the audiobook for it and it's only 100 pages or so. So I could work on something and also listen to the audiobook. The next one I have is a graphic novel. I chose it simply because of the cover alone, but I'll just read the whole description. It's called Something Animal. After witnessing his sister's brutal murder, Jack struggles to cope with the disturbing psychological aftermath. Tormented by images of the attack, Jack is forced to confront the harsh reality that either his sanity is quickly crumbling or that he is turning into something else. Something dark, something animal. So this next book I own physically. I got it for Christmas. It's Horror Store, and it says, to unravel the mystery, 3 employees volunteer to work a 9-hour dusk till dawn shift. In the dead of the night, they'll patrol the empty showroom floor, investigate strange sights and sounds, and encounter horrors that defy the imagination. So my next book is Out. This is the one that has the most pages, and the sentence that got me was, a young mother who works a night shift making boxed lunches brutally strangles her deadbeat husband and then seeks the help of her coworkers to dispose of the body and cover up the crime. So I think because it's already 6:26, it's already dark outside. The first book I'm going to start reading is Something Animal, and then I'll probably complete that tonight. And then I'll start on Out since it's 400 pages, and I'll just read it throughout the week. I finished Something Animal, and it's a hard pass. It's a no-go area. I did not enjoy or like this book. Comic book. It's not a good, there's barely any dialogue. The art is confusing, and wow, I feel like gross, because I'm not going to give too much spoilers. I think I'm going to do a separate video for this comic book because I think that's what I'm going to start doing when I read comic books or graphic novels, just do separate videos with spoilers. But there is a scene where they kill a cat, and no, I am not here for it. And it was pointless, and there's no reason. No reason. I hate this book. It's a no. It's a no. It's a 1 star. It's never, you could skip it. You could skip this. You could skip the book. Cause no. Ew. I don't like it. It makes me feel gross. And then I was reading comments, and like some people were giving it 4 stars and 5 stars, and I was reading reviews of a positive review, and the dude was like, this is like the opposite of Twilight and Vampire Diaries, because those vampires were like pretty and whatever. This book's more gruesome. Nowhere in the book does it indicate the dude's a vampire. He could easily be a cannibal. And what? I don't know. No. Hard pass on this book. It is later. I do have a headache, so I think I might actually go to sleep, because I went to the doctor's today, because for the past 2 days I've had like this annoying ringing in my ear, and it makes it sound like I'm underwater. Turns out I actually have an ear infection, and I'm getting headaches because of it. So I think if I don't go to sleep like right now, I'm gonna start reading out, and then yeah, I'll talk to you in the morning. But skip this book. You don't need this book. You don't need it in your life. I'm telling you right now. It's a no. Okay, so it's later the next day. It's the 4th. It's 10 p.m. and I know I look tired, but I wanted to give you an update of the stuff I've read. So I read a chapter into Out, where we're following, I don't know if it's going to be in different perspectives, but we're following one person who has 4 friends, and I'm kind of enjoying it, because right now, like, we meet them at the factory, and how it's described and how the characters are described, you could tell that like each character is different, especially in like personalities and stuff. So one of the characters, who's 29, who's the youngest, people feel like they need to be protective of her, and her husband just put his hands on her and gambled away millions of dollars. So he's trash. We don't like him. So I'm waiting to see what's going to happen next in the book. I've also listened to an hour of Carmilla, and it's so good. It's such a well-produced audiobook, and I didn't even like see who the narrators were until I was like, yo, this is good. So it's Rose Leslie, who is the redhead from Game of Thrones, who is dating Jon Snow, and then David Tennant and Phoebe Fox. And it's so well produced, and there's like music to it and like sound effects, and I'm enjoying it so much. I don't know what I thought this was going to be, but it seems like it's going to be a love story, but also not. So we are in the perspective of Laura, who is telling her memories of Carmilla to this reporter, but I think it's supposed to be like how Carmilla is evil. But honestly, what I'm getting is they were in love. Laura is not ready to admit that, because she admits like she both loves Carmilla and feels attractions to them. They've done, I don't know if they've actually kissed or if it's just like Carmilla is giving her like cheek kisses and like she blushes and all this other stuff, but then she also has that sense of like, this is wrong. I feel humiliated. This is supposed to be disgusting. And I'm like, no, honey, enjoy your life. But during this time in the past, young or women women specifically are dying and they think it's like some disease or something that's happening. But we know it's Carmilla. I'm excited to finish the book tomorrow because I think I have an hour left in it. But yeah, I just wanted to give you an update and I'm going to sleep. Talk to you tomorrow. Okay, so I finished Carmilla and it's a 5 out of 5 for me, okay? I'm gonna just let you know that right now. I'm in my room, I'm about to go to sleep. But it's an all-cast audiobook. It's sound effects and there's music, and it's so immersive and it's so well performed. I love it. If I only read it physically, it'd probably be like a 4 out of 5, but since I've listened to it, it's so good. And I don't know if there's other endings to this book because there's this one quote I really like. And I couldn't find it. Like, I downloaded the ebook and I couldn't find the quote. So I think there might be different endings. So I might even reread for just to see if I'm going crazy or not. I could just be tired. But, yeah, is it a love story? I don't know, because I don't know if they're actually in love with each other. Like, is Carmilla and Laura in love with each other? Or did Carmilla just manipulate everybody around her? Who knows? Who knows? I don't want to spoil more of the story because I talked about it in the previous clip. But I recommend listening to the audiobook. I listened to it on Audible. So, yes. I'm gonna go to sleep. Talk to you. I'll just talk to you later. So it is currently 2 p.m. I have called out of work today on Thursday because my ear infection is not it's not good today. I have a migraine. Simply because the ringing is so distracting. So it's like it's traveling like this. It's like it starts here and then it goes here. And the eardrops are not currently doing anything for me. My goal today was, since I called out, it was like, oh, clean the house. Oh, do your laundry. Oh, read a book, you know? Am I doing that? No. Have I done that? No. What I did accidentally do was watch The Pirate, which is a movie that was made in the 40s. And I started laughing because at this moment, or as of yesterday, there is a video going around of Gene Kelly. I've never watched anything of his movies, but it's Chris Evans could never, and it's Gene Kelly in The Pirate. And I was like, subconsciously, I had to know something. But I watched it and I liked it. And I also was like, oh, you know what else I could do? Film videos. Have I done that? No, because I have 4 in mind and I haven't posted one so far this week. Ear infections are horrible. I don't like it. So all today, I can't speak. All I've done is eat breakfast and sleep and watch The Pirate. I'm lazy. So right now, people are being loud upstairs, but Booked and Busy is doing a reading sprint with Books and Lala, who's not there. This is Booked and Busy. The goal is to try to read some more of Out. Hopefully I can. If not, I need to find another, because my eyes aren't focusing because of my headache. So I might have to find a different horror book that's audio because I'm just trying to consume stories at the moment, but my body's like, no. But that's the goal. I will update you when I have an update. Hi. So I'm still in the reading sprint. I think they're on their last one. I started Horror Store because Audible has a free audio of it, and I'm listening to that while I'm looking at this. And I really like the layout of this because it looks like the IKEA manual or whatever. But when you highlight it, let me see. Highlighted it, it looks nice, right? And this is the layout. And I'm just highlighting what I think is good, or 27 minutes in. Oh, I put the stickers here because I was like, oh, maybe I'll put a note, but it smears it. So I don't know if I'll do it like that. But I also did that. So I think I'm going to annotate the book or whatever, because I'm actually, I don't know if I'm enjoying it, but I'm enjoying like highlighting. The main character, Amy, I feel like, I don't know if I like her. She's very, how would you describe it? Because how everything's written is like how you work with coworkers and stuff. So like, you know, certain personalities don't mesh well with who you are as a person. And how she talks about people, I don't like it. She's very, what is the word? I can't think. I still have a headache. I'm trying to, what is Amy? Like, I feel like her persona, how she's coming off is like, I'm better than everybody and everything revolves around me type of thing. Even though how she is working, or not how she's working, how she's presenting herself is like very on off, like, you know, like code switching, how you're supposed to be presentable when the boss is around, and then when the boss leaves you talk shit. That's what she does. But yeah, I'm gonna continue reading. I'm on chapter 2. I'll update you when I have an update. Okay, so it's around 3 something on Saturday. I didn't read on Friday, and I just finished Horror Store right now. So I read this physically alongside the audiobook. I'll tell you what I like. Let me tell you what I like. I like the design of this book in general. Somebody's knocking somewhere. But I like the design of this book. I like that there's little maps of like the layout of the store. I like that there's an order form. There's instructions. There's the chapters are blocked off in furniture sections. So like this, right? So it'll be like section 1 or chapter 1, and it's a furniture section. And when you start moving forward into the book, you start noticing that the furniture or the equipment is talking about the horrors that are going to proceed into the next chapter. I like that element. I like during the audiobook, there is a male character who is reading this off. And then the perspective of Amy, there's actually another narrator. I like that. I think that's nice. I also like the effect of, let's see if I could find something. What do I like the effect of? I like pages like this, where it's just like more about employees or like past stuff that's happened. I like that some stuff is detailed when it comes to horror. Or not horror, like the thriller elements. I like the concept of the book, because it would be scary to be locked up in a place where bad things are happening. Especially if it's like IKEA or like a Costco, right? So I like that aspect. What I don't like is the characters. I cared about nobody. And that is hard for me because I thought at least I would care about one character named Ruth Ann, who is an older woman, and employee-wise she would be like the people pleaser, or somebody who you could ask for help and she's always like, yeah, so whatever I could do to make sure you're doing great, right? The sweetheart of the coworkers. I thought I would at least like her, but no. And the worst character, I would say, would be Amy, who is the main character whose perspective we're in. And she is somebody who is selfish and self-centered, and maybe she doesn't notice that until like later on in the book, where she has to make a decision of either staying or leaving the situation she is now in. Is she there for the team or is she not? But I'm going to read you the passage that I immediately was like, there was nothing I'm going to like about this character. So basically, Basil is like the store manager or something. He's a few years younger than her, and he's trying to make sure she can live up to her full potential. But people are always scared to see him in the office because people tend to get fired. So she gets called to the office and she's like, I'm gonna get fired. But then she sees Ruth there and then she gets upset because Ruth, everybody loves Ruth, and Ruth is way older and she's been there for a long time in the company, and she's like, if you get fired, they're losing out or whatever. So she doesn't cuss out Basil, but she basically tells him off, and he's like, I'm not here to fire nobody. I'm here to see if you two would like to stay overnight and get double time, because what has been happening at Orcs, which is not IKEA, they, like every morning when the employees come in, displays are messed up. There's feces on things, on furniture. It's not cute. But he's like, you'll get double time pay and I'll pay you in cash afterwards. And they both need the money, so they're like, yes, fine. So when they're there, also this book takes place after one night, which I also think is cool. But when it's later at night, they split up and do Scooby-Doo stuff, right? The mystery stuff, figure out what's happening. So it's Ruth and Amy together, and Amy's complaining about Basil. And Ruth's not having it. She's like, no, he actually has a lot of responsibilities. And Amy's like what? Making sure everybody's schedule sucks? And Ruth is like, no, actually, he has to take care of his younger sister, and he's basically the father figure in her life because there's nobody else for them. This girl, Amy, says, and I quote, or she doesn't say it, she thinks it, it's a conscious lie. This is what she thinks. Conversations like this were frustrating because what could Amy say? Either she could agree that Saint Basil needed a church named after him, or she could reply with some sarcastic remark that would make her seem petty. She had a lousy life too, growing up in a crappy trailer with a mom whose idea of family time was playing hide and vodka. But if she brought this up now, it would look like she was trying to compete with Basil. And there was no way she could win a Who's Got a Worse contest, not with someone who grew up black in East Cleveland. And I was like, no. I kind of don't care if you die in this book at all. Yeah, so I didn't like any of the characters because it turns out each character is only there for themselves. So it mentions 3 employees, so it's Basil, Ruth, and Amy, but it turns out actually there's 2 more employees that get added to the mix because they're trying to find a supernatural presence, and they're going to do this ghost show, and they have this corny name that I don't like. I think it's called Ghost Bomb, and they're there for their own agendas, right? So I don't even know their names. It's like a Matt and somebody with a T. Trinity? Yeah. So it's Matt, who actually doesn't believe in ghosts, and he lied to Trinity because he just wants to get in her pants. Is this said in the book? Yes. Yes, it is. It is said. And then Trinity is only there for the ghost. So when she finds out there are no ghosts, she starts crying. Right? Then a lot of things just happen. And yeah. I didn't get scared or feel thrilled. Does that make sense? Even though, like, when you get more into the book, there's descriptions of like horror stuff that's happening, and I think it is well written. But listening to it, the narrator's voice was so monotone that I did not care, and I was like, actually, I'm about to fall asleep. And then also, all this trauma stuff is happening, and nobody's like scared. Like, it feels like nobody's scared. And yeah, I don't want to spoil most of it. So I'm sitting at like a 2.5 with this book. That's how I'm feeling. So far I've read a 1 star, a 2 star, and a 5 star. But I have been editing in the process. So even though I didn't read yesterday, I've been editing. This video is already going to be longer than necessary. So what I'm going to do is cut it off here. And then I think I'm going to do it like a 24-hour reading so I can finish the next 2 books by tomorrow. But yes, I'll see you in the next vlog. Bye.